Buckeye Nation! Welcome to the National Championship game. Ohio State is playing Alabama at the Hard Rock Stadium at 8 p.m. on January 11th. Let's get pumped! Welcome to Buckeye Football Fangirl, where it's my goal to get you pumped for the next Ohio State game. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and leave me a comment below. You guys, Ohio State beat Clemson! And next up, Alabama. And what a beautiful night that was. I was completely exhausted after the game, yet I could not stop smiling. And it took me quite a while to calm down enough to fall asleep. We couldn't have asked for a better game against Clemson. On the very first day of 2021, after a horrible 2020, we broke the Clemson curse. We beat Clemson when we had never done it before. I thought that this tweet from Patrick summed it up perfectly. That was so beautiful. Those tight end passes and touchdowns. It was so great to see Ruckert and Farrell balling out in such a visible way during that game. And oh my goodness, Justin Fields' grit and determination despite being in such an incredible amount of pain. We saw it last year and we saw it again in this game. You could just hear his pain-filled grunts as he sat down at the press conference after the game. Our QB1 is such a warrior. You all, he sacrificed his body for that win. And this tweet from Barstool OSU was so true. Justin Fields is better than Trevor Lawrence, even with broken ribs. Not only is that true, but I got some serious deja vu from our 2019 game against TTUN. That play where Fields' knee got hurt and he had to run off the field to put a knee brace on. Then he came right back out and threw a touchdown pass. Man, when Fields went down after that targeting call, I was seriously afraid he was going to be out for the rest of the game. But no, after a quick trip to the medical tent, what did he do but come right back out? He came right back into the game and he promptly threw a zinger to Olave for a touchdown. Speaking of Olave, man, was it good to have him back in the game. I thought Amanda's tweet was the perfect summary of that beautiful 56-yard touchdown pass from Fields to Olave. That pass, that catch, these two are unreal. We were sorely missing that during the Big Ten championship game against Northwestern, but it was so nice to have that back. And let's just talk about our D. All I can say is wow. Everyone was doubting our D could get it done, but oh, did they get it done. They all played like champs. As Johnny, co-host of the Scarlet and Great Show, tweeted, OSU gave up 44 yards rushing. 44. Carry Madison and LJ out on your shoulders. That was a performance for the ages. It was truly an incredible night. Let's talk about Coop, Togiai, Garrett, and Smith making their presence felt. Hilliard falling out in another amazing game with 8 tackles and a fumble recovery. And back on the offensive side of the ball, it was just incredible to see Trey Sermon running all over the field. Not to mention our bowling ball, Mayan Williams, just knocking over Clemson's senior leader. Even the freshmen made their mark on this game. Jay Book summed it up so well. I will tell you what got me fired up. The freshmen came in like some young dogs. Paris Johnson was out there bulldogging some poor upperclassman. Meatball trucked their senior leader. Jackson Smith-Njigba was blocking a dude on the perimeter almost to the bench. You all, that was incredible. You guys, we played 4 full quarters of football. And not only did we walk away with the win, but it truly felt like poetic justice was delivered. It's crazy. Each moment that ended up being a momentum changer for us last year happened to Clemson this year. As Kyle Rowland puts it, this is the reverse of last year. It's completely insane. Targeting, Olave beating Turner on a touchdown, a fumble, and as Andy Troyer added in, and ended the game INT in the end zone. As Z_Rich11 tweeted, Trevor Lawrence being intercepted in the end zone is so much the poetic justice I have been waiting for. I'm gonna freaking lose it. I am so happy right now. And for me, that was just the cherry on top of the freaking sundae. We could not have asked for a better way to close out that game. Oh, how sweet that tasted. I have to be honest, you guys, I was still feeling nerves all the way up until that final interception. But once the game was over, I just could not stop smiling. And truly, the best part of it all is that we now get to see our Buckeyes play in one more game. This will be the last time we get to see our beloved Buckeyes take the field in their scarlet and gray uniforms, and thinking about it already makes me want to cry. What an incredible football season we've had. One last time, I want to circle back to the beginning of this football season, the football season we thought we weren't going to get to have. I thought that Jess said it beautifully when she tweeted this near the end of the Clemson game. If you had told me back in August that I would be here tonight watching this rematch close in on what looks to be a victory, I'd have said, no way. So proud of this team, players, coaches. My heart just swells when I think about our Buckeyes and the fight they have shown this year to get this football season. And we can't forget about our Husker friends too, who helped us in the fight to get the season going again. I second this tweet from Born a Buckeye. To the fans of Nebraska, thank you. We're not playing football this year without you as our ally. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Huskers. Now on to the main event. Because let's be honest, as sweet as that Sugar Bowl win was, and oh, it was so sweet, this is what we've all been waiting for. A shot to be crowned the national champions. And already, the Buckeyes have been written off. However, it's okay, because I agree with Corey, the other co-host of the Scarlet and Great show, when he tweeted this. Can't wait to hear all week how we have no chance against Bama. And after reading tweet after tweet after tweet about how Ohio State is going to get curb stomped by Alabama this year, I'm feeling juiced. And if I'm feeling that way, I can only imagine how our team must be feeling. Now, at this part of the show, I normally segue into talking about the other team. But before I do that, I wanted to just take a moment and savor how special this shot at the national championship is. And I wanted to take a look back together at some of the favorite moments from previous championship games. This memory from CJ Preach of the 2015 Sugar Bowl game against Alabama was glorious to relive, especially because going into that game, everybody was saying that there was no way the Big Ten could keep up with SEC speed. As he says, fave memory of the championship game, Zeke for 85 yards versus Bama is hard to beat. That is a hard one to beat because it was so incredible. From that same season, Andrew M. shares his favorite memory. I was on call at the hospital watching that national championship game. Not the most traditional place to watch a game, but I wasn't complaining. It was so great when they won. I was elated and I'll never forget that night. I can completely relate to this next story from Tim Collins from when my son was younger. Tim said, during the 2014 championship game, my daughter was only 1. I had restrained myself from yelling at the TV all season to keep from waking her up. Before the game that night, my wife was like, it's the championship. Go crazy. I'll take care of the baby. Kieran Shanker's favorite memory was also from the 2014 national championship game. He recounts that he was watching the game with his family, and once the second half kicked off, the Buckeyes started to dominate the game. They were all so excited. His 14-year-old self posted on Instagram, "We did it," when they won. His dad had been a professor at the dental school for Ohio State for over 20 years, so there was just a lot of excitement. And at Rudy Bucks throws it back a little bit further with his favorite championship memories from the 2002 Miami game. He says, the roller coaster of the game, making my sister-in-law sit in a specific place because when she sat there, OSU played better. Yep, I'm that superstitious guy. Those memories get me even more pumped for this upcoming game. My personal favorite championship game was the 2002 double overtime national championship game against Miami. The Buckeyes were coming off of an undefeated season, and that was the season that turned me into a Buckeye fan for life. I was a teenager at the time, and I remember watching Craig Krenzel as the quarterback calmly lead our Buckeyes to victory that year. But the moment I actually remember best is that interception he threw, and the strip that followed it by Maurice Clarett to get the ball back. I was watching that game with my family, and when they won, I remember being so excited and just celebrating that win together as a family. Thank you so much for everyone who shared their favorite memories with me, and allowing me to share them on this show. Reliving those fun game memories has gotten me even more pumped for this upcoming game. Okay, so now let's talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Who do you need to know? Well, with a legendary head coach and 2 Heisman Trophy finalists, you've probably been hearing a lot of talk about them already. Let's start with head coach Nick Saban. He has been coaching since 1973, and if I went into all the details about where he's coached, you guys would probably stop watching this video. So I'll keep it short. Most noteworthy is his time as a head coach of the Miami Dolphins, LSU, University of Toledo, Michigan State University, and 2 seasons that he spent as the DB coach while at Ohio State under Earl Bruce before getting fired. Saban, I mean Coach Saban, no disrespect intended, has been the head football coach of Alabama since 2007. He attended and graduated from Kent State University, where he played football as a defensive back. He actually didn't even plan on becoming a coach until his college coach, Don James, offered him a graduate assistant position while he was waiting for his wife to graduate from Kent State. He is a hard, tough coach who cares about the details. And the number one thing he cares about is winning. Saban's father has the reputation of being a perfectionist, and that has greatly influenced how he coaches today, shown in the way that Saban demands excellence from his players. He has been extremely successful adapting and evolving as college football has changed over his years as a coach. Next, let's look at their starting quarterback, Mac Jones. Jones is not your conventional quarterback. Some people have called him a bit of a Renaissance man, masquerading as a football star. Some interesting things about Jones is that he studied Mandarin while in high school, and he was also a child model. His legal name is actually Michael Jones, but he was given the nickname Mac when he was a kid. However, his nickname by his teammates is the Joker. One of his teammates jokingly called him that when he was a freshman, and it's stuck ever since. He's one who normally has a goofy smile on his face, and he has a loud, full mouth laugh, kind of like how the Joker laughs. And he's also said to move about a little spastically, like the Joker does. Jones has some impressive stats this year. This season, he has thrown for 4,036 yards with a 77% completion rate. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. Jones is not a dual threat quarterback, which is good for us. However, he is known for getting the ball out quick and has an extremely accurate deep ball. Next, let's talk about some of Alabama's rideouts. Yes, you heard me correctly, the rideouts. The rideouts is the nickname for Alabama's receivers. First, we'll take a look at the name on everybody's lips, Devontae Smith. He is a senior wide receiver, and his name has just blown up recently for good reason with the incredible season he's had. This year, he's had 105 receptions for 1,641 yards and 20 touchdowns, and he is the Heisman Trophy winner this year. His nickname on the team is the Slim Reaper, and he's said to be a player of few words. However, he is super competitive and obsessed with winning games and bettering his skills. In fact, this year, he started a new habit of catching 100 passes from the jugs machine after every single practice. Some people have called him the best receiver to ever come out of Alabama. Next, let's take a look at another wide receiver from Alabama, Jalen Waddle. Waddle has been out with an injury since the October 24th game against the Tennessee Volunteers, where he suffered the combination of a high ankle sprain and a fracture to his right ankle during the opening kickoff return. Waddle was supposed to be out for the rest of the season due to that injury, but there have been rumors that he's been practicing this week, so we're not sure if we'll see him on the field or not. However, I wanted to give you some information about him in case he makes an appearance. Waddle got the nickname Magic in high school because he was so fast. His teammates said, now you see him, now you don't. He is a twitchy wide receiver and is seriously so fast. Some people have called him the fastest wide receiver in the SEC. Even though he's been out for an injury, he's remained on the sidelines working with Smith and the other players and telling them what he saw when they were on the field to help them get better. Prior to his injury, he caught 25 passes for 557 yards and 4 touchdowns. There have been a lot of people saying that what Waddle and Smith do on the field is very similar to what Olave and Wilson do on the field for the Buckeyes. Smith normally operates as the outside receiver, while Waddle plays in the slot. Next, let's take a look at their senior running back, Najee Harris. Najee hails from California, and he likes to joke that he is also a rideout. He has 1,387 yards rushing this year, along with 346 receiving yards. He had a much talked about crazy hurdle over a Notre Dame defender during that semifinal game, and he is one who has been using his platform and his voice for good. He actually led a march during the summer for social justice and used his voice voice to call for change. Somewhat surprisingly, Alabama's defense has not been as notable this year. However, let's take a look at one of their defensive backs who will likely play a prominent role in our game against Alabama. Patrick Surtain II is nicknamed PS2. He is the son of a former NFL quarterback, so it shouldn't be a surprise that playing football comes naturally to him. Surtain is a former 5-star recruit out of Florida, and he is a big corner with a massive wingspan, strong hands, and impressive speed. He's been the leader of Alabama's secondary this year, and he was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He's recorded 35 tackles, 1 interception for a touchdown, and 1 fumble recovery. Now that we know a little bit more about the Alabama Crimson Tide, let's take a look at what's poppin' in the Twitter sphere. You guys, there were so many good tweets this week. Buckeye Twitter was just on fire. I had such a hard time choosing which tweets to use because there were just so many that were pure gold. I'm planning to do one more show after this national championship game just to recap what an incredible season it's been. So if you'd like to have a tweet featured on that show, tag me in your tweet. I'll include my Twitter handle in the show notes below. And feel free to say hi to me on Twitter anytime. This first tweet from Uptown is gold. Nobody beats the 11th ranked Buckeyes. Nobody. I agree. And I'm not going to get tired of that joke anytime soon. From Missy Faltzgraf, anyone else from Buckeye Nation still grinning ear to ear after that victory? I can't be the only one. Missy, it's been 5 days since that victory and I'm still grinning ear to ear. This next tweet is right in line with that too. From @Buckeyes versus T-World. I don't know about you all, but I'm still on a high from that Sugar Bowl win. Me too, and it's just not going away. From @DangerRanger56, TOSU. Revenge is a dish best served cold. So proud of my Ohio State Buckeyes. Yvonne, I'm with you there. That was a beautiful dish of revenge that we saw in that Sugar Bowl. It felt so good to beat Clemson in the way that we did, and we won't be forgetting that one for a long time. From @Krista Loves Pizza, 2021 is luring me into a false sense of security after this weekend of football. #Go Buckeyes, #Browns. It was a great weekend for football in the great state of Ohio. And while I personally don't follow pro football, I'm stoked to hear the Browns have had such an incredible season too. Go Buckeyes and go Browns. Brandon says, let them have Waddle. Let them have Devontae Adams for all I care. Put anybody in front of this Buckeye squad right now and they are going down. This is our natty. Brandon, I love that take. No matter which Devontae we see on the field, I think we've got it covered. I feel this next tweet from Raza so strongly. I mean, Jesus Christ, every single time the natty is brought up, it's, how can Ohio State stop Alabama? Like, dude, who is stopping Fields? Our wide receivers, Trey Sermon, Patrick Surtain? Sure thing. Don't get me wrong, Alabama has an amazing team this year, but so does Ohio State. But it's okay. Let them underestimate us like Clemson did. From Chance, #beat Alabama. This year feels a little bit like 2014, doesn't it? People saying we don't belong in the playoffs, making the playoffs, wearing our white throwbacks in the Sugar Bowl, beating a team everyone thought would beat us. Moving on to the natty to play another team everyone thinks will beat us. It does feel a lot like that year, and I'm loving it. I can 100% relate to this next tweet from Aaron Heckman. Everyone at work is telling me Alabama is going to destroy Ohio State. Must not have watched either game on Friday. Silence is key. Aaron, I can 100% relate because I have been a Buckeye fan deep in enemy territory far too many times. Just wait until after that game is played. This next tweet from TMB. If we play like we did last night, it's game over. Nobody in CFB would beat us the way we played last night. 100%. These next 2 tweets are from Zona Buckeye. I am confident Ohio State beats Alabama. If I had to predict a score, I would say 45-35. Don't take this as cockiness. It's just Alabama doesn't scare me. No one does. I would not trade this TOSU team for anybody. I respect Bama, and it's going to be a good game, but I have them Buckeyes winning by 10. I love it. I like those score predictions, and I think the game's going to end up somewhere right around there. I definitely have our Buckeyes beating Alabama, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. With all the excitement, I truly do not know how I'm going to focus when all I can think about is this next game. And I thought the time before the Sugar Bowl went by slowly. Somehow, though, time seems to have slowed down even more. If you're a Buckeye watching this video, leave me a comment below with how you're helping pass the time before this next game. Buckeye Nation, I can hardly believe it, but we're almost to the end of this journey together this season. This will be the last game, the last chance we get to see this team full of incredible players take the field together. This season has truly been one that will be remembered and talked about for years to come. And I cherish the chance that we've had to watch this team play, and not just play, but play with passion, drive, and fight. Enough that has gotten them to this national championship game, the game that was the goal all along. I am so blessed by all the fellow Buckeye fans that I now consider friends, and am looking forward to cheering our Scarlet and Gray to victory on Monday. For one last time, let's just soak up this final game together, and I'll see you on the other side of the game. OH.